White people cannot be racist. Can white people be racist? When people talk about racism, it's obviously not constructive to go to the dictionary. I mean, the dictionary was created by white people, so it is just a tool of the cis-het patriarchy to make it sound like white people could, in fact, be racist. But I've been doing a lot of sociological research about systems, power structures, privilege, and implicit biases, and my knowledge is really thorough at this point. I am really good at what I do, and my research has been double and triple checked. And considering how much scrutiny has been placed on my every word, it has to be. So let me make this abundantly clear. In 2016, it is absolutely impossible for white people to be racist. It's not so important that the highest elected official in our nation and the most powerful man in the world is black, which he is. If we were to look at simple power structures, white people don't hold the highest level of power at the moment because of this. But that isn't even particularly important because no individual politician actually holds institutional power, because our system of governments is more strongly linked to corporate lobbying and the influence of collective shareholders. Commonly, these shareholders exist overseas, and since the US is majorly in debt to China, we are financially controlled by Asian people. Furthermore, Asian people earn more on average than white people in the US, so they have economic privilege here as well. Add to that the fact that people of color have more educational opportunities in terms of being admitted to universities based on affirmative action quotas, so white people simply don't have the same structural advantages necessary to disenfranchise other groups at this point in time. But more importantly, white people cannot be racist because they do not stand to benefit from being perceived as racist by other members of society. If we were to look at the case of Justine Sacco, who lost her job because of one misconstrued liberal tweet that was perceived as racist, it is very clear that being perceived as a racist as a white person is grounds to be fired. So even if a white person did something that could be considered racist by some people in society, they will be penalized greatly, thus making the racism null and void. Over the past few years on college campuses and on social media, white people have been the most dismissed and marginalized voices of any skin color. When a person of color says something ignorant about other skin colors, they might be politely corrected at worst, or sometimes given a free pass based on their ethnicity. But if a white person says something offensive, they will be challenged, told to check their privilege, and therefore will be told that they need to educate themselves on racism. At this point, they are allowed to access deeper, hidden truths about racism because they are challenged to do the real difficult work for themselves, instead of being told that their opinions are inherently valid based on their skin color. Furthermore, various minority groups have been given accolades for their flagrant and unapologetic racism towards white people. Black Lives Matter has had protests that chant for dead cops, and even has had around 8 deaths credited to their ideology. The leaders have not apologized nor discouraged such behaviors from their followers, but rather have merely denied any involvement, when in reality, it is easy to see that their movement is creating hatred and violent sentiments. More so, they are being rewarded for it all the times with accolades and invitations to the White House. When a white person says something that would be considered racist to somebody that doesn't have my same nuanced and educated understanding of what racism really is, nothing happens besides that white person potentially getting in a whole lot of trouble. But when a black person says something racist, especially having to do with Black Lives Matter, they are clearly rewarded, and sometimes we even end up with dead cops on our hands. It is for that reason that I believe white people cannot be racist. I legitimately believe that someday soon, God is going to come down and tell us that Black Lives Matter was just a test to see if people were still racist, and he will tell us that if we supported the movement, we failed the test. Okay, alright, surprise! I'm totally just joking, this is satire. What it was an exercise in trying to use the same type of social justice, whatever logic, to see if I could find a way to justify white racism in the same type of way that people constantly justify the racism coming from supporters of the Black Lives Matter movement, for example, and other things. I'm obviously just messing with you guys to see how it would sound. To me, this is about what it sounds like when they're saying that black people can't be racist. So, just showing people the mirror of in an alternate reality, but this is not like actually what I think. Let me know how you reacted in my comment section, if you could tell I was joking or if you actually believed me for a while. And subscribe to my channel and like this video if you think I am entertaining. Good night.